The African women are in the prophetic agenda of God at this end time. The continent of Africa is in the agenda of God. And this agenda of God concerning the continent of Africa will have to begin with the African women who are going to raise children for God, that God will use at this end time to fulfill his prophetic agenda for the entire world. This is the season for the African women to arise in their prophetic calling, to embrace the will of God so that things will get better in the continent. We are faced with all manners of challenges in the continent of Africa because the African women have not been able to identify their prophetic destinies and to know the altar that God has given to them, to understand their mandate and their mantle in the continent, to be able to help in whatsoever that is happening in the continent of Africa. We are not African women by accident, but because God has designed us to be in this continent, to be a blessing to the continent, to rise up in the place of prayers, to understand the continental strongholds, the continental principalities, the continental forces and altars and arguments that does not want the continent of Africa to, to arise and to fulfill God's prophetic destinies and to take away poverty from the continent of Africa. It is in the place of the African women in this season to embrace the prophetic calling of God concerning them, so as to raise an altar of sustainability and a godly altar that will bring and restore the glory of God in the continent of Africa. I'm calling on African women out there to involve themselves in prophetic prayers, to involve themselves in godliness, and to know that it is in their place to raise godly children for them, for God, and their own children is a point of contact. What kind of children are you raising for God? Have it in mind that as an African woman, that this end time, God has a mandate for you to raise compulsorily for him godly children. Remain blessed.